If you are thinking of a bank that takes care of customers' needs by providing quality services with flexibility, reliability, and innovation, think Trust Bank Limited. With Trust Bank Limited mobile banking, you enjoy services such as balance inquiry, mini statement, funds transfer between accounts, exchange rates, mobile airtime top-up, stop ATM card, checkbook request, and PIN change. Our real-time gross settlement allows the customer to instruct the bank to transfer funds from their account to another account at another bank. Our expertise and experience in international banking is both legendary and the envy of the market. Retail banking, one bank, different amazing packages. Whether you are interested in savings account, current account, time or fixed deposit account, lending or overdraft, our team of dedicated staff is always ready and willing to help you out with your transactions as you wish. Corporate banking. Trust Bank Limited offer the most convenient services for deposit accounts, credit facilities, trade finance, bond and guarantee, and foreign currency account. With e-banking, you can make electronic bill payments and online banking and enjoy 24-hour access to your cash with our ATM. With the largest network of branches and agents, we give you the convenience to receive funds as you please. Trust Bank Limited, proudly Gambian.
fay lempo warugal la ci képp koo xam ne doomi réew mi nga ak ñu fi dëkk bu fekkee ne ci at mi sa koom-koom weesu na $2,400 dalasi mbete weer bu nekk di nga am lu tollu ci $2,000 dalasi lempo si la nguur gi di sukkandiku ngir liggéey yokkute réew mi GRA mooy banxaas bu nguuri Gambia sas ngir mu fayeku lépp luy lempo ci biir réew mi ba tax na GRA di yëgal faykati lempo yi ne warugal la pour ñu fay lu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment maanaam bépp contract bu waay joxe te ci biir réew mi lañu toog kon xaalis ci contract bi ngeen nangotoo war nga cee wàññi ci xayma téeméer bu nekk fukka bu fekkee ne contracto bi dëkkut ci biir réew mi bu boobaa di nga war a wàññi téeméer bu nekk fukka ak juróom lii mooy lempo bu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment lii mooy lempo bi nga xam ne yow mi joxe contract warugal la nga wëlbatiku dem fay ko ci maakaani GRA tax office bu la gën a jege mbete ci banque yi GRA jagleel pour fay lempo war ngaa jébal lempo bi si diiri fukki fan ak juróom gannaaw bi nga wàññee ci xaalis si contract bi amul benn contracto bu ñu teggil fay lempo bi xanaa mu fekk ne nguuri Gambia ñoo ko jégale boole si projet yi nga xam ne mbootaay ndimbali ñoo koy dépense GRA di fayeku lempo ngir yokk.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Bibliomatic Exercise Book Printing Machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Bibliomatic Printing Machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service.
And good morning to you all. It seems like it's already some minutes to 8 o'clock in Banjul. If you are wherever you are in any other part of the world, I guess it's morning as well, except in Seattle, I think, right?
Where?
In Seattle, Washington. I think it's around midnight, around that time right now. Yes.
That is still morning.
That's still morning, yes. But we are still here broadcasting from our studios in Bijilo, and of course our team of reporters and camera crew at the IEC, and we'll be bringing you the results as they come in. But we're getting signal that the IEC chairman is about to come out. And we're hoping this time. We already have 14. We're expecting another 39 to come in. hopefully this time we'll have all the results, Lamin.
Yes, I think given that we had more or longer break than at any time during the process started, I would have thought that the IEC must have got a lot of results now compiled, and we can expect that it's going to be a lot of constituencies, maybe more than we had when he came twice previously, because it's been a long time and a long night for us who have stayed, all this night without even dozing for a second or so. For people who are just rising and tuning, well, when you were going to bed, probably you must have followed that 14 constituencies.
All right, the chairman, I think the chairman is here, right, Charles? All right, let's go to the chairman.
And then earlier in this morning, did another twice.
More results to declare. We only hope that this time he would have got a lot more than he did when he came out twice before. And very interesting constituencies are still to be announced. We have not had, for example, any results from the West Coast region. We haven't had anything from the KM region, if I am right.
KM,
yes.
Yeah.
So what we had was results from CRR. In fact, we don't have URR, do we?
No.
It's mostly CRR and Mansakonko administrative area.
And NBR.
And NBR.
Charles, the other light.
So we haven't had
Mustafa, can we
anything
bring
from
the bigger light?
West Coast region as well as the KM, the biggest regions in the country. So it will be interesting to see what the results will look like from those constituencies, because he must have certainly got.
Certified by Anthony Robert Secker, the zoning officer of the administrative area.
Some technical issues from the IEC, but we should be back shortly with that, Cham. Seems like the IEC chairman is announcing Brikama.
Well, yes, it's maybe one constituency from Brikama area, Brikama administrative area, or maybe more. Like I was saying, West Coast region is there. The entire West Coast region is yet to be declared. So is Caribbean Municipal Council, and we hope that
5,411 votes. 5411. For Aliu Njai, PWS 1,394 by 5 votes, 1395. Lamin Sabali, UDP 4,744 votes, 4744. Maimuna Tamba, Independent 2,582 votes, 2518. Alpha Usman Diallo, Independent, 776 votes, 776. Modu MJ, NUP, 186 votes, 186. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by Anthony Botseka, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou D.A.Sar, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Bankanta Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in all Unum constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Abdullah Sisi has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for all.
Siom Silly. It seems like we are back live here. The results that have just been announced, NPP won the all Unum.
Yeah, that is what we could from the announcements.
Seems like we are back live here. The results that have just been announced. So yes, it seems like NPP won all Unum.
All Unum,
Abdullah
yeah.
Sisi, one of the incumbents, if that area is returning back.
Yeah, I'm afraid we lost the figures, but yeah, but it's certain that NPP won all all Unum, and that's the first constituency I think declared. If I'm right, from West Coast region, there could be others going on, but because of technical reasons, we will catch up with that, I'm sure, if we are
able to come back or get the chairman back. Well, yeah. So all Unum is Abdullah Sisi, Alifar. I come to all Unum, Abdullah Sisi. But that was a surprise because we were saying that it seems like that was something that was, on confirmed reports that we got, that was something, that was the only area that NPP got so far, according to our unconfirmed reports. From West Coast, yeah.
Yes, interesting. Results from combo NPP ma didn't do well in the combos and in Banjul. Banjul was in and the information from Sorokan came and they didn't do well. Likewise, West Coast region. But then Abdullah case we were all in the picture. Bawanyun confirmation of it wrong. But then most because it coming sort of from unconfirmed, unofficial. Difference because of the new official results matter. So it's a lot of demand communicana, they are authentic. We just need the chairman to officially say it. But yes, at least a glimmer of hope for NPP in Congo. At least Sierra Killing for Old Yundum.
Sierra Killing for Old Yundum.
Work in progress. It's not all lost. I think all political parties will learn from this election, as we've been mentioning earlier on from the beginning of this broadcast. Yes, Abdullah Sisi, I think he's going to be a sigh of relief, because those band of MPs who actually defected from the UDP and cross-carpeted, I think that's the right word,
yeah,
to the UDP, to the NPP, from the UDP to the NPP, I think it's been a subject of, well, I wouldn't call it disgust, but a worrying thing for the UDP people, especially those MPs, the manner in which they went to NPP, really UDP didn't like it. And, with Alaji in lower Badibu, Alaji Jawara having lost that, it might have sent some fears or of jitters on this fight.
Lamin Samali, UDP, 4,744 votes. Mayuna Tamba, Independent, 2,518 votes. Alpha Usman Jallo, Independent, 776 votes. Modu Njai, NUP, 186 votes. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seka, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou Dié, agent for UDP, Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Old Yundum constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022, Abdullah Sise has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Old Yundum constituency in the Brikama administrative area. Signed, Chairman. Results of the Combo East constituency. Esa Dampa, NPP, 3,908 votes. James F. Mendy, Independent, 1,379 votes. Abdul Sow, UDP, 6,135 votes. Khairul Ibi Baji, Independent, 2,268 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seka, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou Biesa, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Combo East constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Abdul Sow has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Combo East constituency in the Brikama administrative area. Signed, Chairman.
Declaration of results. I, Yeshuan Constituency, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Busumbala constituency is as follows. Sekuba Jayo NPP, 5,998 votes, 5998. Nimalisa Kuyabi, PDOIS Doi, 1,354 votes, 1354. Samuel Mendy Independent, 1,085 votes, 1085. Jere Sayang Independent, 2,916 votes, 2916. Mohammed Kante Independent, 10,100 votes, 10100. Bubasar Independent, 522 votes, 522. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Borseka, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Busumbala constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022, Mohammed Kante has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Busumbala constituency in the Brikama administrative area. Signed, Ali Manjai, Chairman. Declaration of results. I, Ali Manjai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Sane Mentereng constituency is as follows. Ba Landindiata, CA, 569 votes, 569. Baba Galejalo, NPP, 4,565 votes, 4565. Victor Jata, PDOIS, 792 votes, 792. Fatou Cham, UDP, 10,709 votes, 10749. Lamin Mane, Independent, 410 votes, 413. Abdul Baji, Independent, 1,455 votes, 1455. There was 1 invalid vote. The results were certified by Antonio Seka, returning officer in the administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Modu A. DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Sanimentary Constituency in National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Fatou Cham has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Sanimentary Constituency in the area. Signed, Aliman Jai. Results. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice there is no number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022 for Brikama South constituency is as follows. Buba Mane, Independent, 1,000.
Brikama South. Brikama South.
Brikama South, okay. Buba Mane, Independent, 1,000. Buba Mane. Buba Mane, Independent, 1,549 votes. Modu King Kuli, GDC, 1,348 votes, 1,348. Mansour Sow, Independent, 2,517 votes, 2,517. Malandi B. Jabang, NPP, 3,946 votes, 3,946. Lamin Jesane, UDP, 6,322 votes, 6,322. Lamin Jaju, Independent, 913 votes, 913. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Honorable Seka, returning officer in the Brikama area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Modu DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Brikama South constituency, in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022, Lamin Jesane has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Brikama South constituency in the Brikama area. Signed, Ali Umar.
Thank you.
Here are the results for the Busumbala constituency. Sekou Bajaju, NPP, 5,998. Nima Lisa Kujabi, PDORS, 1,354 votes. Samuel Mendy, Independent, 1,085 votes. Jera Sanem, Independent, 2,916 votes. Mohammed Kante, Independent, 10,100 votes. Bubasa, Independent, 522 votes. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seka, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Busumbala constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Mohammed Kante has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Busumbala constituency in the Brikama administrative area. Signed, Chairman. Over now to the results for the Sanamenteren constituency. Balandi Jaka, CA, 569 votes. Baba Gale Jallo, NPP, 4,565 votes. Victor P. Jata, PDORS, 792 votes. Fatou Cham, UDP, 10,749 votes. Lami Mane, Independent, 413 votes. Abdubaji, Independent, 1,455 votes. There was 1 invalid vote. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seca, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Sanementaren constituency, Fatou has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Sanementaren constituency in the Brikama administrative area. Signed, Chairman. The Brikama South constituency results are as follows. Bugamane Independent, 1,549 votes. Mamadou King Koli, GDC, 1,348 votes. Mansour Sow, Independent, 2,517 votes. Malanding B. Jabang, NPP, 3,946 votes. Lani J. Sane, UDP, 6,322 votes. Lani Jagi, Independent, 913 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seca, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fangakonte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Brikama South constituency, Lani J. Sane has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Brikama South constituency. Signed, Chairman.
Results. I, Yeshuan Constituency, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Combo South constituency is as follows. Abdullahi Fali Jallo, GDC, 1,111 votes, 1111. Madam Sayang, DMC, 790 votes, 790. Bubakar F.M. Koli, Independent, 5,254 votes, 5254. Mamadou Bojang, NPP, 8,670 votes, 8670. Kebake Baro, UDP, 10,916 votes, 10,616. 10,616 votes, 10,616. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seca, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Combo South constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022, Kebake Baro has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Combo South constituency in the Brikama administrative area. Signed, Yeshuan Chairman. I, Yeshuan Chairman of the Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Ponyemi constituency is as follows. Samba Nying, CA, 1,999 votes, 1999. Mamadou S1, GDC, 1,290 votes, 1290. Mamadou Embalo, GFA, 479 votes, 479. Amar Dabo, NPP, 4,044 votes, 4044. Ali Cham, PDOS, 510 votes, 510. Mamadou Eldiba, UDP, 2,746 votes, 2746. There was 1 invalid vote. Results were certified by S.R. Balde, returning officer in the Caravan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Dema Sabali, agent for NPP, and Mamadou D. Sar, agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Upper Nyomi constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Omar Dabo has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Upper Nyomi constituency in the Caravan administrative area. Signed, Alimani, Chairman. I, Alimani, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022 for Central Body constituency is as follows. Mustafa Dukore, GDC, 309 votes, 309. Nadu Job, NPP, 2,835 votes, 2385. Suleiman Saho, UDP, 3,766 votes, 3766. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by S.R. Balde, returning officer in the Caravan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou D.S.R., agent for UDP, Dr. Dema Sabali, agent for NPP, and Khalif Wanga Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Central Body constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Suleiman Zaho has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Central Body constituency in the Assembly area. Signed, Alimani, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Here are the results for the Combo South constituency. Abdullah Falai Jallo, GDC, 1,111 votes. Malan Sanyan, GMC, 790 votes. Babakar FM Kuli, Independent, 5,254 votes. Mamadou Bojan, NPP, 8,670 votes. Keba Kebaro, UDP, 10,616 votes. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seka, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou D.S.R., agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Combo South constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Keba Kebar has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Combo South constituency. Signed, Chairman. Over now to the results for the Opanyomi constituency. Samba Ning, CA, 1,999 votes. Mamadou S1, GDC, 1,290 votes. Mamadou M. Jallo, GFA, 479 votes. Omar Dabo, NPP, 4,044 votes. Ali Shan, PDOIS, 510 votes. Mamadou El Giba, UDP, 2,746 votes. There was 1 invalid vote. The results were certified by S.R. Balde, returning officer in the Caravan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Mamadou D.S.R., agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in Upper Nyomi constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Omar Dabo has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Upper Nyomi constituency. Signed, Chairman. The Central Badibu constituency results are as follows. Mustafa Dukure, GDC, 309 votes. Mamadou Diop, NPP, 2,835 votes. Suleiman Saho, UDP, 3,766 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Kerr administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, having received the highest number of votes in the Central Badibu constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Suleiman Saho has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Badibu Central constituency. Signed, Chairman.
Election of results. I, Ali Manjai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Sabah Sanjal constituency is as follows. Sambafal GDC, 896 votes, 896. Usman Ture NPP, 3,495 votes, 3495. Maimunagi UDP, 624 votes, 624. Alaji Babuside Independent, 4,036 votes, 4036. Ibrahim Esba Independent, 366 votes, 366. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Kerewan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Modu DSR, agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Sabah Sanjal constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022, Alaji Babu Sise has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Sabah Sanjal constituency in the Caravan administrative area. Signed, Ali Manjai, Chairman. Citizen officers, I, Ali Manjai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Jokari constituency is as follows. Babu Karchun, GDC, 869 votes, 869. Saliu Yao, NPP, 2,422 votes, 2422. Chinaba, NUP, 526 votes, 526. Moduke Nur, PDOS, 461 votes, 461. Mamadou Mar, UDP, 1,220 votes, 1220. Baisen, Independent, 2,410 votes, 2410. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Caravan and zoning area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, and Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Jokado constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Salih Fujaro has been duly elected as member of the Assembly for Jokado constituency in the Caravan administrative area. Signed, Ali Manjai, Chairman. I, Ali Manjai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Lower Nyomi constituency is as follows. Alpha MK Low, CA, 1,666 votes, 1666. Modu Bob, GDC, 2,062 votes, 2062. Tamsil Sham, NPP, 6,331 votes, 6331. Ibulo, Independent, 325 votes, 325. Hamari Esli, PDOS, 1,458 votes, 1458. Mahtar Mjen, UDP, 2,087 votes, 2087. Musa Keda, Independent, 363 votes. There was one invalid vote. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Caravan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for EDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, and Kali Fanga Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Lower New Constituency in the national elections of 9 April 2022, Tamsil Sham has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Lower New Constituency in the Caravan administrative area. Signed, Alimandia Chairman.
Over now to the results of the Sabah Sanjal constituency. Sambafao, GDC, 896 votes. Usman Toure, NPP, 3,495 votes. Maimuna Gay, UDP, 624 votes. Alaji Babu Sise, Independent, 4,036 votes. Ibrahima Esba, Independent, 366 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Kerawan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fankakonte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Sabak Sanjal constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Al-Haji Babu Sise has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Sabak Sanjal constituency. Signed, Chairman. The Jokadu constituency results are as follows. Babu Karchun, GDC, 869 votes. Salifu Jao, NPP, 2,422 votes. Shinaba, NUP, 526 votes. Moduke Elu, PDOIS, 461 votes. Momodu Mar, UDP, 1,220 votes. By Sen, Independent, 2,410 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Kerawan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fankakonte, agent for NPP, Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in Jokadu constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Salifu Jawa has been duly elected National Assembly member for Jokadu constituency. Signed, Chairman. The Lower Yomi constituency results are as follows. Alpha Nkelo, CA, 1,666 votes. Modubo, GDC, 2,062 votes. Tamsil Cham, NPP, 6,331 votes. Ibulo, Independent, 325 votes. Hamadi Esli, PDOIS, 1,458 votes. Makhtar Mjen, UDP, 2,087 votes. Musa Keita, Independent, 363 votes. There was one invalid vote. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Caravan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fantakonte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Lower Nyomi constituency, Tamsil Shah has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Lower Nyomi constituency in the Caravan administrative area. Signed, Chairman.
I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Elias Constituency is as follows. Sankung Dampa, NPP, 4,752 votes, 4752. Dembo KM Kamara, UDP, 4,579 votes, 4579. Alhaji Haidara, Independent, 2,353 votes, 2353. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Caravan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Nodudi SR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Wanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Elias constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Sankum Damva has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Elias constituency in the Caravan administrative area. Signed, Aliman Jai, Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given in each candidate to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Buruga Konak constituency is as follows. Suleiman Jame, EPRC, 5,534 votes, 5534. Pamara Mambure, CA, 597 votes, 587. Samba Ture, Independent, 499 votes, 489. Bakalinja, UDP, 3,988 votes, 3988. Yusufa Jati, Independent, 578 votes, 578. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, returning officer in the Canopy administrative area. The results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Wanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Burugakunda constituency, the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Suleiman Jame has been duly elected as a member of the National Assembly for Burugakunda constituency in the Karim administrative area. Signed, Aliman Jai, Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Serakona constituency is as follows. Amadou Esli, NPP, 1,499 votes, 1489. Ansu Kamara, Independent, 724 votes, 324. Musa Hasham, PDRS, 1,799 votes, 1799. Yakuma Jati, UDP, 1,263 votes, 1263. Abduba, Independent, 408 votes, 408. Ibrahim Savage, Independent, 127 votes, 127. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, returning officer in the Canopy administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Wanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Serakunda constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Musa Cham has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Serakunda constituency in the canvassing and filling area. Signed, Edmund Yeshuan.
Here are the results for the Ilyasa constituency. Sankung Dampa NPP 4,752 votes. Dembo KM Kamara UDP 4,579 votes. Alhaji Hydra Independent 2,353 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Esa Balde, returning officer in the Kerawan administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Momodu DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fantakonte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Ilyasa constituency, Sankung Dampa has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Ilyasa constituency, signed chairman. The Bundung Kapkunda constituency results are as follows. Suleiman Jame, APRC, 5,534 votes. Famara Mambure, CA, 587 votes. Samba Ture, Independent, 489 votes. Bakawijai, UDP, 3,988 votes. Yusufa Jete, Independent, 578 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Willy, returning officer in the Kanping administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fantakonte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Bundung Kapkunda constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022, Suleiman Yane has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Bundung Kapkunda constituency, signed chairman. Serakunda constituency results are as follows. Amadou Esli, NPP, 1,489 votes. Ansu Kamara, Independent, 324 votes. Musa Chan, PDOIS, 1,799 votes. Yakumba Jaite, UDP, 1,263 votes. Abduba, Independent, 408 votes. Ibrahim Savage, Independent, 127 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, returning officer in the Kanping administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fantakonte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Serakunda constituency in the National Assembly elections, Musa Chang has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Serakunda constituency, signed chairman.
I, Ali Mohamed Njai, chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the national election of 9 April 2022 for Fonyi Bintang constituency is as follows. Mamadou Kamara, APRC, 1,174 votes, 1174. Simon I. Gomez, GDC, 316 votes, 316. Bakari K. Baji, Independent, 4,333 votes, 4333. Saidi Bubaji, Independent, 916 votes, 916. Kayelu BI, Independent, 296 votes, 296. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Anthony Robert Seka. So, Anthony Robert
Seka.
Returning officer in the Brikama MCB area. Results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in 4 Bintang constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Bakari Kebaji has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for 4 Bintang constituency in the Brikama area. Signed, Manjai Chairman. I, Yeshuan Constituency, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Fonyi Bondali constituency is as follows. Kadi Kamara, EPRC, 795 votes, 795. Fatou Mosane, Independent, 1,034 votes, 1034. Usman Marcos Nyasi, Independent, 894 votes. Usman Diallo, Independent, 522 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Anthony Robert Seka, returning officer in the Constituency area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Fonyi Bondali constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Fatou Sane has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Fonyi Bondali constituency in the Brikama area. Signed, Manjai Chairman. I, Yeshuan Constituency, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the national election of 9 April 2022 for Fonyi Jarol constituency is as follows. Alhaji Sankum Jame, EPRC, 233 votes, 233. Seniba, Independent, 558 votes, 558. Maruba, Independent, 658 votes, 658. Abdullahi Bondi, UDP, 596 votes, 596. Modu Eva, Independent, 407 votes, 457. Kiva Tumanding Sane, Independent, 1,059 votes, 1059. Tumani B. Samu, Independent, 214 votes, 214. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Anthony Moseka, returning officer in the Brikama area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Fonyi Jarol constituency in the national election of 9 April 2022, Keba Tumani Sane has been duly elected as member of the Assembly for Fonyi Jarol constituency in the Brikama area. Signed, Manjai Chairman.
Over now to the results of the Fonyi Bintang constituency. Momodu Kamara, APRC, 1,174 votes. Simon Ibames, GDC, 316 votes. Bakari K. Baji, Independent, 4,333 votes. Saibu Baji, Independent, 916 votes. Khalil Biai, Independent, 296 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seka, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fampa Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Foni Bintan constituency, Bakari K. Baji has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Foni Bintan constituency. Signed, Chairman. The results of the Foni Bondali constituency are as follows. Kadi Kamara, APRC, 795 votes. Pa Dembo Sane, Independent, 1,034 votes. Usman Marcus Nyasi, Independent, 894 votes. Usman Jallo, Independent, 523 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seca, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fantaconte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Foni Bondali constituency, Pa Dembo Sane has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Foni Bondali constituency. Signed, Chairman. The Foni Dial constituency results are as follows. Al-Hadi Sampunjame, APRC, 233 votes. Seniba, Independent, 558 votes. Moruba, Independent, 658 votes. Abdullah Bondi, UDP, 596 votes. Mamadou Eba, Independent, 457 votes. Kera Tumandi Sane, Independent, 1,059 votes. Tumandi Sambu, Independent, 214 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Seca, returning officer of the Brikama Area Council. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fantaconte, agent for NPP. And having received the highest number of votes in the Foni Jaro constituency in the National Assembly elections, Kera Tumandi Sane has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Foni Jaro constituency. Signed, Chairman.
I am Willy, Chairman of the Independent Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 of Basse constituency is as follows. Sekuba, NPP, 5,613 votes, 5613. Haji Suare, UDP, 1,666 votes, 1666. Kebaye Balde, GDC, 806 votes, 806. Yusuf Balde, Independent, 882 votes, 882. Dawda Mane Gale Jallo, Independent, 896 votes, 896. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lamin Cham, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Umrudi SR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Al-Khali Fanga Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Basse constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Sekuba has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Basse constituency in the Basse administrative area. Signed, Evan Jai, Chairman. I, Ayuman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Kantora Constituency is as follows. Willy Tunkara, NPP, 4,446 votes, 4446. Antuti S. Sonko, PDOS, 361 votes, 361. Suleiman Sisa GDC, 1,997 votes, 1997. Haji Bojaha, Independent, 1,206 votes, 1206. Mohammed Fatou UDP, 1,197 votes, 1197. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by Lavin Cham, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Modu DSR UDP, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Kantora Constituency in the national election of 9 April 2022, Willy Tunkara has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Kantora Constituency in the Basse administrative area. Signed, Alamanjai Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Indian Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Yeshuan Constituency is as follows. Sirif SR, FRC, 5,019 votes, 5019. Modu Aicham, GDC, 2,707 votes, 2707. Buba Jarama, EDP, 4,571 votes, 4571. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, returning officer in the Constituency administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Yeshuan Constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Sirif SR has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Yeshuan Constituency in the Kanifing administrative area. Signed, Alimanjai Chairman.
Over now to the Basse Constituency. Sekuba, NPP, 5,613 votes. Haji Sware, UDP, 1,666 votes. Keba Jebalde, GBC, 806 votes. Yusufa Balde, Independent, 882 votes. Dauda Nene Gale Jalo, Independent, 896 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lami Cham, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Momodu DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanfakonde, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Basse constituency, Sekuba has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Basse constituency in the Basse administrative area. Signed, Chairman. Over now to the Kantora constituency. The results are as follows. Willy Tunkara, NPP, 4,446 votes. Ansu T.S. Sonko, PDOIS, 361 votes. Suleiman Sise, GDC, 1,997 votes. Haji Bajaha, Independent, 1,206 votes. Muhammad Fati, UDP, 1,197 votes. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by Lami Cham, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Kantora constituency in the National Assembly elections, Bile G. Tunkara has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Kantora constituency. Signed, Chairman. The Yeshuan Constituency results are as follows. Sheriff SR, APRC, 5,019 votes. Modu Aicham, GDC, 2,707 votes. Buba Jadama, UDP, 4,571 votes. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Kuli, returning officer in the Kanifing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Yeshuan constituency, Sheriff SR has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly. Signed, Chairman.
I, Ayuman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Willy West Constituency is as follows. Mai Ahmad Fatou, DMC, 1,235 votes. 1, 2, 3, 5. Mfamara Sabali, NPP, 3,359 votes. 3,359. Sida S. Jata, UDRS, 2,165 votes. 2,165. Tida Kijera, UDP, 958 votes. 958. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lamin Cham, regional officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Willy West Constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Mfamara Sabali has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Willy West Constituency in the Basse administrative area. Signed, Ayuman Jai, Chairman. I, Ayuman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Willy East Constituency is as follows. Ibrahim Akonde, DMC, 506 votes, 506. Nafa S. Jawai, NPP, 2,472 votes, 2,472. Suwaibi Ture, URS, 4,822 votes, 4,822. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lamin Cham, regional officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, NPP, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Willy East Constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Suwaibi Ture has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Willy East Constituency in the Basse administrative area. This is by witness and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, and Kalifanga Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Jumara Constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Esa Conte has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Jumara Constituency in the Western Signed Aluman Chairman.
Over now to the results of the Willy West constituency. Mai Ahmad Fatou, GMC, 1,235 votes. Mfara Sabali, NPP, 3,359 votes. Sidia S. Jata, PDOIS, 2,165 votes. Tida Kijera, UDP, 958 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lami Chan, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. The results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanta Kante, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Willy West constituency in the National Assembly elections, Mfamara Sabali has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Willy West constituency. Signed, Chairman. Over now to the Willy East constituency results. Ibrahim Conte, GMC, 506 votes. Nafa S. Jabai, NPP, 2,472 votes. Suai Buture, PDOIS, 4,822 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lami Chan, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fantakonte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Willy East constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Suai Buture has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Willy East constituency. Signed, Chairman. The Jimara constituency results are as follows. Al-Hadi H. Saw, GDC, 3,504 votes. Esa Conte, NPP, 6,861 votes. Mama Salim Jallo, Independent, 1,296 votes. There were 4 invalid votes. The results were certified by Lami Chan, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fantakonte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Jimara constituency in the National Assembly elections, Esa Conte has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Jimara constituency, as signed by Chairman.
Okay. You want to take a break?
I, Aluman Jai, Chairman of the Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9th April 2022 for Serekunda West constituency as follows. Nene Prida Gomez, CA, 2,526 votes, 2,526. Modu Jane, GDC, 521 votes, 521. Mutabalo, NPP, 4,981 votes, 4,981. Fatou Sow, PDOS, 2,845 votes, 2,845. Madi KMKCC, UDP, 5,021 votes, 5,021. Modu Sani independent 1,643 votes, 1643. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, zoning officer in the canvassing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Serekunda West Constituency in the Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Madi MKCC has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Serekunda West Constituency in the Kanu administrative area. Signed, Aliman Jai Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Baka Constituency is as follows. Asantam for NPP, 2,696 votes, 2686. Asan Ture, UDP, 4,566 votes, 4566. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by your police officer in the canvassing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Baka constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Asan Ture has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Baka constituency in the canvassing administrative area. Signed, everyone, Jai Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for the Kujang constituency is as follows. Fatou K. Jawara, NPP, 2,758 votes, 2358. Ibrahim KCA, PRS, 371 votes, 371. Musa Baji, UDP, 5,026 votes, 5026. Ibrahim Sonko, Independent, 2,491 votes, 2491. Ali Hussain, Independent, 838 votes, 838. Usman NLD, NNJ, Independent, 274 votes, 274. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, returning officer in the canvassing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Telinim Kujang constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Musa Abaji has been duly elected as member of the Assembly for Telinim Kujang constituency in the canvassing administrative area. Signed, Aliman Jai, Chairman.
And here are the results for the Serekunda West constituency. Nene Freda Gomez, CA, 2,526 votes. Modu Jane, GDC, 521 votes. Mustafa Lu, NPP, 4,981 votes. Fatou Sow, PAOIS, 2,845 votes. Madi NKCC, UDP, 5,021 votes. Mamadou Lamin Sane, Independent, 1,643 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, returning officer in the canvassing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Serekunda West constituency, Madi MKCC has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Serekunda West constituency, as signed by Chairman. The Bakau constituency results are as follows. Asan Damfa, NPP, 2,686 votes. Asan Toure, UDP, 4,566 votes. There were 3 invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Willy, returning officer in the Carnifing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Bakau constituency, Asan Toure has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Bakau constituency, signed Chairman. Over now to the Kalinding Kunjang constituency results. Fatou K. Jawara, NPP, 2,358 votes. Ibrahima K. Sise, PDOIS, 371 votes. Musa Baji, UDP, 5,026 votes. Ibrahima Sonko, Independent, 2,491 votes. Aliou Sane, Independent, 838 votes. Usman Enal Njai, Independent, 274 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, returning officer in the Carnifing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Kalinding Kunjang constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Musa Badi has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Kalinding Kunjang constituency, signed Chairman.
I, Aliou Njai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9th April 2022 for the Serekunda Assembly constituency is as follows. Ibrahim Nyang, GDC, 944 votes, 944. Sekumarong, NPP, 4,019 votes, 4019. Aminata Koya, PDOS, 1,516 votes, 1516. Yaya Sajang UDP, 6,866 votes, 6866. Omar Koli Independent, 2,205 votes, 2205. Ibrahim Party Independent, 594 votes, 584. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Koli, program officer in the Carnifing administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Serekunda Assembly constituency, the National Assembly election of 9th April 2022, Yaya Sanya has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Serekunda Assembly constituency in the Carnifing administrative area. Signed, Yeshuan. I, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for 4 new prefect constituencies is as follows. Ibukoli IPRC, 1,898 votes, 1898. Amikoli Independent, 3,034 votes, 3034. Sari Ubari Independent, 971 votes, 971. There were 2 invalid votes. Results were certified by Antonio Seca, resident officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Banka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Dema Savali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Pony Prefect constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Ami Kori has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Pony Prefect constituency in the administrative area. Signed, Alaman Yeshuan. I, Alaman Yai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the national election of 9 April 2022 for Pony Kantara constituency is as follows. Musa Amunyasi, APRC, 1,057 votes, 1057. Abdullah Bojang, Independent, 396 votes, 386. Landing Bojang, Independent, 469 votes, 469. Musa A. Nyasi, GDC, 251 votes, 351. Almami Jiwa, Independent, 3,513 votes, 3513. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Seca, resident officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Pony Kantara constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Almami Jiba has been duly elected as a member of the National Assembly from Pony Kantara constituency in the Brikama administrative area. Signed, Alaman Yai.
Here are the results for the Latrikunda Sabili constituency. Ibrahim Yan, GBC, 944 votes. Seiko Maram, NPP, 4,019 votes. Aminata Korea, PDOIS, 1,516 votes. Yaya Sanyan, UDP, 6,866 votes. Omar Koli, Independent, 2,205 votes. Ibrahim Fatou, Independent, 584 votes. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Joseph Kuli, returning officer in the Kaniping administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Mamadou Diesa, agent for UDP. And having received the highest number of votes in the Latrikunda Sabili constituency, Yaya Sanya has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Latrikunda Sabili constituency, as signed by Chairman. The Foni Bereket constituency results are as follows. Ibukoli, APRC, 1,898 votes. Amikoli, Independent, 3,034 votes. Salubari, Independent, 971 votes. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Seca, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fanta Conte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Foni Bereket constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Ami Koli has been duly elected as National Assembly member for the Foni Bereket constituency as signed by Chairman. The results for the Foni Council constituency are as follows. Musa Amunyasi, APRC, 1,057 votes. Abdullah Bojan, Independent, 386 votes. Landing Bojan, Independent, 469 votes. Musa A. Nyasi, GDC, 351 votes. Almami Jiba, Independent, 3,513 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Antonio Robert Sega, returning officer in the Brikama administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Alkali Fankakonte, agent for NPP, Dr. Demas Sabali, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Foni Council constituency, Almami Jiba has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Foni Council constituency, as signed by Chairman.
I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the election of 10th April 2022 for Sandu constituency is as follows. Ibrahim Ajaite, NPP, 3,658 votes, 3658. Mohamed Mahanera, UDP, 3,407 votes, 3407. Security Drame, Independent, 1,878 votes, 1878. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Lamin Cham, officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Modu DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Sandu constituency in the national election of 9th April 2022, Ibrahim Ajaite has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Sandu constituency in the Basse administrative area. Signed, Aliman Jai, Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Tumana constituency is as follows. Mpali Kora, NPP, 6,559 votes, 6559. For the NM Drame, UDP, 2,229 votes, 2229. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lamin Cham, officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Tumana constituency in the National Assembly election of 9th April 2022, Mpali Kora has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Tumana constituency, Basse administrative area. Signed, Aliman Jai, Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the national election of 9 April 2022 for Nyamina East constituency is as follows. Amar Sise, GDC, 2,056 votes, 2056. Dawda Jeng, NPP, 3,265 votes, 3265. Alaji Mamadi Kurang, PWS, 2,044 votes, 2044. Alaji Madisi, UDP, 830 votes, 830. Madi Gay, Independent, 89 votes, 889. There were 4 invalid votes. The results were certified by Amadou Sal, officer in the Janjambur area. These were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte UNPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Yamina East Constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Dr. Jeng has been duly elected as member of the Assembly for Yamina East Constituency in the Yangburi administrative area. Signed, everyone, the Chairman.
And here are the results for the Sandu constituency. Ibrahim Ajete, NPP, 3,658 votes. Mohammed Mahanera, UDP, 3,407 votes. Sekou T. Drame, Independent, 1,878 votes. There were 2 invalid votes. The results were certified by Lami Cham, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mungu DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. And having received the highest number of votes in the Sandu constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9 April 2022, Ibrahim Ajete has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Sandu constituency as signed by Chairman. The Tumala constituency results are as follows. Mfali Kora, NPP, 6,559 votes. Fode NM Drame, UDP, 2,229 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Lami Cham, returning officer in the Basse administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. And having received the highest number of votes in the Tumana constituency, Mfali Kora has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Tumana constituency, signed by Chairman. The Nyamina East constituency results are as follows. Omar Sise, GDC, 2,056 votes. Dauda Jeng, NPP, 3,265 votes. Al-Hadi Mamadi Quran, PDOIS, 2,044 votes. Al-Hadi Madi Sise, UDP, 830 votes. Maligay, Independent, 889 votes. There were 4 invalid votes. The results were certified by Ahmad Tal, returning officer in the Janjambure administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP. And having received the highest number of votes in the Nyamina East constituency, Dauda Jeng has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Nyamina East constituency as signed by Chairman.
I, Aliman Ndiaye, Chairman of the Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the national election of 9 April 2022 for Lower Horadu West constituency is as follows. G. Mbalo, NPP, 6,047 votes, 6047. Ngari B.A. Joe, GDC, 1,426 votes, 1426. Karamo Party, UDP, 2,296 votes, 2296. Iwa Jalo, Independent, 907 votes, 987. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Amadou Sal, returning officer in the Janjamburi administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, and Galipanga Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Lower Fatou West Constituency in the Assembly election of 9 April 2022, DB Balo has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Lower Fatou West Constituency in the General Body as signed Aliman Jai Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the national election of 9 April 2022 for Upper Fatou West Constituency is as follows. Ismaila Cham GDC, 2,777 votes, 2377. Bakari Kora NPP, 4,078 votes, 40878. Numukunda Kani UDP, 2,709 votes, 2789. Amadou Diallo Independent, 732 votes, 732. Usman Nimbalan, Independent, 3,000. Usman Nimbalan, Independent. Huh? Ismaila Cham, GDC, 2,377 votes, 2377. Bakari Kora NPP, 4,078 votes, 4078. Numukunda Kani UDP, 2,789 votes, 2789. Amadou Diallo Independent, 732 votes, 732. Usman Nimbalan Independent, 3,318 votes, 3318. Yerombalo NUP, 209 votes, 239. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Amadou Tal, zonal officer in the area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Banka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Upper Fatou West Constituency in the national election of 9 April 2022, Bakari Kora has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Upper Fatou Constituency in the General Body. Signed, Aliman Jai Chairman. I, Aliman Jai, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the national election of 9 April 2022 for Jamina West Constituency as follows. Yero Diallo GDC, 617 votes, 617. Birom Sow, Birom USO, NPP, 1,038 votes, 1038. Usman Diallo, NUP, 306 votes, 306. Kemaseng Sani, UIS, 464 votes, 464. Bashir Sisa, UDP, 676 votes, 676. Abdul Aziz Sow, Independent, 568 votes, 568. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Amadou Sal, zonal officer in the Jayamburi administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, and Khalif Panka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Yamina West Constituency in the election of 10 April 2022, Biram Yeso has been duly elected as member of the Assembly for Yamina West Constituency in the Yamina area. Signed, Alaman Yeshuan.
And here are the results for the Lower Fulani West Constituency. Jibrin Balo, NPP, 6,047 votes. Ngari BAJO, GDC, 1,426 votes. Karamo Fati, UDP, 2,296 votes. Ibrahim B. Jallo, Independent, 987 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Ahmad Khan, returning officer in the Denjambore administrative area. The results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Al-Khali Fantakonte, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Lower Fulani West constituency, Jibin Balo has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Lower Fulani West constituency as signed by Chairman. And here are the results for the Upper Fulani West constituency. Ismail Chan, GDC, 2,377 votes. Bakari Kora, NPP, 4,078 votes. Numukunda Kani, UDP, 2,789 votes. Amadou Jaro, Independent, 732 votes. Usman Dimbalan, Independent, 3,318 votes. Yerambalo, NUP, 239 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Ahmed Tal, returning officer in the Denjambore Area Council. And these results were witnessed and endorsed by These results were certified by Ahmad Tal, returning officer in the Denjambore administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Al-Khali Fantakonte, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Upper Fulani West constituency, Bakari Kora has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Upper Fulani constituency as signed by Chairman. And here are the results for the Nyamina West constituency. Yero Jalo, GDC, 617 votes. Biram JSO, NPP, 1,038 votes. Usman D. Jalo, NUP, 306 votes. Kermasen Sane, PDOIS, 464 votes. Basiru Sise, UDP, 676 votes. Abdul Aziz Sow, Independent, 568 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Ahmad Tal, returning officer in the Denjambore administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Mamadou DSR, agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Al-Khali Fantakonte, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Nyamina West constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Biram J.S. Sow has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Nyamina West constituency in the Denjambure administrative area, as signed by Chairman.
I, Yeshuan Constituency, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Lower Salem constituency as follows. Ibu Kege, EPP, 294 votes, 294. Seni Jawara, NRP, 3,564 votes, 3564. Halimatu Seria Sow, UDP, 307 votes, 337. Piran Sen, Independent, 1,772 votes, 1772. Keba Kante, Independent, 332 votes, 332. Ahmad Sega, Independent, 140 votes, 140. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Ahmad Utal, returning officer in the Yanyaburi administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Momodu D.S.R., agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Wanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Lower Salem constituency in National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Seni Jawara has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Lower Salem constituency in the January administrative area. Signed, Alumni Chairman. I, Yeshuan Constituency, Chairman of the Independent Commission, hereby give notice the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly of 9 April 2022 for Sami constituency is as follows. GBDM CA, 317 votes, 317. Alpha Amar Jallo GDC, 1,346 votes, 1346. Musikaba Keta NPP, 2,712 votes, 2712. Al Hussein Shize, UDP, 3,692 votes, 3692. Haruna Jaro, Independent, 1,070 votes, 1070. There was one invalid vote. The results were certified by Ahmad Utal, returning officer in the Yanabur area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fanka Conte, agent for NPP, Amadou DSR, agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Sami constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Al-Hussein Sise has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Sami constituency in the Yambure administrative area. Signed, Yeshuan Chairman. I, Yeshuan Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, hereby give notice that the total number of votes given to each candidate in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022 for Nyani constituency is as follows. Antirohi Sise, NPP, 2,711 votes, 2711. Amarba GDC, 1,332 votes, 1332. Anaji SBC UDP, 2,001 votes, 2001. Amar Job, Independent, 3,179 votes, 3179. Pamuru Sila, Independent, 425 votes, 425. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Ahmad Utal, returning officer in the Jainbul administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Modu D.A. agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Savali, agent for NPP, and Garifanka Conte, agent for NPP. Having received the highest number of votes in Nyani constituency in the National Assembly election of 9 April 2022, Amar Diop has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Nyani constituency in the Jainburi area. Signed, Everyman Jai, Chairman.
And here are the results for the Lower Salem constituency. Ibu K. APP 294 votes, Seni Jawara NRP 3,564 votes, Halimatu Sadia Sow UDP 337 votes, Biran Sen Independent 1,772 votes, Keba Kante Independent 332 votes, Ahmad Seka Independent 140 votes. There were no invalid votes. The results were certified by Ahmad Utal, returning officer in the Yanyambure administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Momodu D.A. Sar, agent for UDP, Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fampakonte, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Lower Salem constituency in the National Assembly elections of 9th April 2022, Seni Jawara has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for Lower Salem constituency in the Ganjamura administrative area as signed by Chairman. And the Sami constituency results are as follows. Jibidem CA 317 votes, Alpha Omar Jallo GDC 1,346 votes, Musukeba Keita MPP 2,712 votes, Alpha Seni Sise UDP 3,692 votes, Haruna Jallo Independent 1,070 votes. There was one invalid vote. The results were certified by Ahmad Utal, returning officer in the Ganjambura administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fankapante, agent for NPP, Momodu D.A. agent for UDP. Having received the highest number of votes in the Sami constituency, Alpha Seni Sise has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Sami constituency in the Ganjambura administrative area as signed by Chairman. The Nyani constituency results are as follows. Anti Rohit Sise, NPP, 2,711 votes, Omar Ba, GDC, 1,332 votes, Al-Hadi SB Silla, UDP, 2,001 votes, Omar Joe, Independent, 3,179 votes, Pamod Silla, Independent, 425 votes. There were no invalid votes, and the results were certified by Ahmad Utal, returning officer in the Ganjambura administrative area. These results were witnessed and endorsed by Momodu D.A. agent for UDP, Dr. Demba Sabali, agent for NPP, Alkali Fankakonte, agent for NPP, and having received the highest number of votes in the Nyani constituency in the National Assembly elections of the 9th of April 2022, Omar Joe has been duly elected as member of the National Assembly for the Nyani constituency as signed by Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Chairman, if you can just bring this to an end. we have announced all the results for the 53 constituencies. So we thank you all for your time and for your patience. Thank you.
Well, once again, we say a big thank you all for your patience. And what we had always said, that we will conduct elections freely, transparently, credibly. Witnessed by all the party agents throughout this process. So on that note, once again, thank you, Allah bless you all. Thank you. Goodbye.
Chairman, it seems like we're going to have, early morning going home. All the results are out, 53 constituencies, and it seems like it's not a very good night for the incumbent. When you look at the KMC, they have no seat in the KMC, apart from their tactical alliance partners, APRC, who have Joswang and Bundung. The UDP won in Bakau, Serekunda West, Latrikunda, Talinding, and APRC won in Bundung and Joswang. And PDIS won, they maintained the Serekunda seat, Halifa seat. So NPP has no seat in KM. We already discussed that they have no seat in Banjul. Now you go to KM, West Coast, Brikama North, UDP won that. You go to Brikama South, UDP won. All of the Fonies, the Babili Mansa team, No to Alliance won that. And you go to Combo South, KKB Baro won. So it seems like their West Coast, entire region, West Coast, KM, and Banjul, which carries more than 50% of the total votes, NPP only has one seat. Of course, they sweep the polls in URR and CRR also. I think they only lost Same, and also generally Jara, they swept the polls in Jara, but they lost everything in Kiang. So as we stand, I think what we have, NPP, I think has about 19. They have 19, and UDP, they have 15, apart from their tactical alliance partner, Busumbala, which should have made it 16. And then you go to independent, they have 6 candidates for the independent candidates. And APRC, No to Alliance 5, DOI 2, that is in Willy and in Serekunda. And APRC, the main Fabakari APRC have 2, Joswang and Bundu. Lamin.
NRP, sorry.
NRP, of course, have 4, Lower Salum, Upper Salum, Nyamina Dankungu, and Nyanija. Lamin, this is the result.
Yes, well, like I said, when I observed that the IEC took a long time between their 2 previous announcements and this one, I had, rightly predicted and suggested that they probably were waiting so that they can take the remainder of the results in one go. Yes, that is the way the Gambian people decided their parliament. Like you said, it looks like the governing National People's Party, out of the 40 seats they contested, they could only get 19. That's a little less than half of it. So if you are going to assess the performance of the NPP on their own, you will say that they are about 49% out of 100 is what you are going to give them. Now, even if you bring in their alliance partners, you will have to bring 6 more seats, which will give them a total of 25, am I right?
25, yes.
25.
The entire Grand Coalition is going to be 19 so plus 5 plus...
Like I said, I'm coming now.
Oh, 25.
That's 25.
25, yeah.
Now, if you go individually, the NPP contested 40 seats and they got 19 of it.
Yeah.
That is let's say, a little below 50%, let's say 49% of 49 out of 100 for them, their individual performance. Okay, if you bring in their coalition partners, you are going to have 6 more seats. So together, the strength of the Grand Coalition is 25 seats out of 53. Definitely, that is not impressive.
It's below 50.
That's not impressive if you definitely look at the advantages of incumbency, the amount of investments, of course, the involvement of the highest level of the coalition. 25 seats out of 53 is not a very good score for NPP, for the Grand Coalition. And particularly, you have to consider also, where do they lose the elections? It's very embarrassing, really, for the NPP. I think they will admit that in the West Coast region, they could only come up with only 1 seat, all Yundum, if I'm right?
Yes.
That is particularly bad, because that tells you that the whole of West Coast region have disagreed with them, except 1 place. That is bad. KM also, apart from the 2 APRCs, is it?
Yes.
The 2 APRCs, where can you point NPP victory?
No.
So certainly, this added to Banjul, where they have not scored anything, really is a huge indictment on the chances, on the predictions of the NPP. So they will definitely not be happy with the outcome of this. Yes, individually they can form the majority in Parliament, but even no, I mean
individually.
Individually,
Okay.
that is, if you check every party strength individually,
yes,
they can boast of a majority in Parliament. But then, even if you put their Grand Coalition partners' number to theirs, and the UDP and the independents are together with the rest of the opposition, like DOI, and of course the faction, the rival faction of the APRC, if those people, if the opposition to NPP is anything to go by, you find out that 25 out of 53, how many do you have? 28. So if the opposition against NPP Grand Coalition is anything to go by, it's 28 against 25. Unless, of course, some of those independents are themselves disguised as as independent when actually they are NPP. That can also be. We had allegations that NPP planted independent candidates in some places so as to sway votes from their opponents. Maybe in some cases it might work, and in some cases it might prove counterproductive. Anyway, but if you are counting the opposition as opposition, independent candidates as opposition to NPP, then combined opposition is more than the Grand Coalition of the NPP. That's what I take away from that. And secondly, the APRC rival faction, led by Yaya Tamba, have done tremendously well. Because even though they might have lost in a lot of constituencies that they have flexed their muscle, but everybody knew that their strength would have to be assessed on the merits of what they have done in Fonyi. They have always said that they are the real APRC. They are the ones who carried the majority of APRC supporters. They argued this case during the presidential elections results. Nobody believed them, but I think they have shown now that actually they have more APRC supporters than the Fabakary Tombon-led faction. They swept the whole 5 constituencies in Fonyi, and really embarrassing incumbents, with very, very, very embarrassing numbers. It tells you how the feeling of the Fonyi people are about the APRC faction, and in fact about NPP, especially in the light of the recent incident, when the whole area was engulfed in turmoil, and they have been speaking, their voice against the presence of economic forces, etc. All these are factors that have influenced their attitude, their way of voting. So it is now clear that nobody can now dispute the fact that the APRC rival faction actually have more APRC supporters than Fabakary's group. In fact, if anything, it is NRP which had more addition to to NPP than APRC.
Yes.
And if you look at it from the surface of it, in the initial study, you might think that APRC brought a bigger force to NPP. But what the results have indicated today is that, in fact, the NRP brought more in terms of value and in terms of quantity to the NPP than APRC in terms of tangible results. So you can see that Ahmad Ba can now have a bragging rights and said, look, I am bigger than APRC. And he will be right. He will have bragging rights. That's what I've taken, from that. So overall, the provincial regions have largely gone to NPP. There's no surprise there.
Yeah.
Those ones were either NRP or GDC. Of course, they were all UDP before until Barrow and UDP split. It looks like Barrow have really killed or massively reduce UDP support in those two regions.
Yeah.
So if there's anything, the opposition's work is cut out for them. They have to concentrate. If they really want to fight NPP's dominance, they have now to concentrate on CRR and Bassi in particular, and perhaps try to regain some lost ground in LRR and North Bank. That is precisely the response. As for the GDC, this is really, you might say, this is the last nail in their coffin in terms of relevance. For the next 5 years, nobody will hear about GDC in the National Assembly. They will only maybe exist in the newspapers and radios when Mr. Kande or his colleagues give press conferences. But as far as Parliament is concerned, they are dead for the next 5 years. I'm very sorry for Doi because even though they managed to fish out two, but a big like Sidia Jatta really missing out on representation in Parliament for the first time in 20 years is really a big story, and I think it's a big shift in the politics of Willy, because Sidia has been seen as not just an icon but an idol. When you look at Willy politics. So for him to lost, in this manner, really is a big minus for Doi. Of course, they had two MPs. Swaibu Ture is through and through a very dedicated Doi man. And then this new man in Halifa's constituency, Serekunda, Musa Cham, will also expected to have learned a lot from Halifa. So the two of them will really continue to make Doi very relevant, in the National Assembly, and their agenda had always been, mostly they are non-partisan when it comes to national interest. So the presence of the two will really keep Doi very much alive and relevant. But then, of course, the loss of Syria is a big blow to Doi. So I sympathize with the party on that score. So that's my take on
Aliou.
Beautiful.
Aliou, badi manding ko limbera moirola. Ngalde jama babi je fanang ilaftalo na muneketa nyindulal beto, especially when it comes to numbers also pour ka bondi nyoto drong, especially KM ni West Coast ni fenkolto ani yuara
Abaraka Fatou ko lamine ya fun nyamini tubab ko lo dro sio meta ba alhamdulillah sa mbeda men chairman paretale but then mimbe kacha kandum bolem di incumbent wolong NPP mimu di ruling party ti yakata nyaadi le nying ñi député carte faaw minketa bo ni a jube mo safo ima kata mune ya sabu membi kajar wol futa le jama ba futa kajar kono bo ni a jube siran talul ning sabakono e tanning kono tole sotono andu ñin tanning kono to fana ni a jube ya soto min tole dulal mol be jikirin ko ise kukeno dame ngaje West Coast nala waro me siran killing e wol soto no woto old yundum KMC mume e man siran soto banyul ngo fole kabring ngama kunun suto e man siran soto woto so aketa kuti mi alon ko krosiroto i ma kata bake munem problem moti ngalo dol sa foko president o tara ndum campaign la bolon kono amon ko mboke amang West Coast ke amang KMC ke so maybe wala na amang siran so do bilu malon fo fo seke no daliloti malon bade ni ajibe a tirantan nin kononto kabo siranta lulin sabakono for a ruling party wo manke performance kendoti UDP sirantan nin lulle soto bari mi anan ko sirantan lulin saba NPP sira motan nan le londi bari ye terol sotole ya bulami la idulal bulami ye ha pour wol français dulani NRP wol kono le PPP wol kono le PPP man na siran sodo so mo sa fa ko il faut ta jele inara fanan APRC fanan ye dula dolbula APRC ye bonni ajbe APRC siran fula sodo so ngani ko NPP na terol e siran jelle sodo APRC fula NRP nani ani tol fauna tan nin kononto wala keda monni lulti monni lulu talul nin sabakono ni wol bonde nyokora kamta ko hani bi ida sada min wala siata wala monni sey wo ni la NPP la performance be indi de carte fayro musa foko tuwa kon la porta back ase mol jakali mu neketa mboda president carte fayro kono science ay kare saba ngamira fang natara aba nyama mol nyanta wato dila num ni masa kundala doko ke sanji kilin sanji fula natara la performance man betaya ila next election musa foko anyul natale I makata wana ngi bondi bari ni ngwintele masa kunda fa mallo folo because keta ka government le bije karsa bo kono doro nying sifa keda ase mo jakal fo mol la jernya politiko kono wole falinta ba kadum nyina ngaje independent tan sey ni lulu ndenere ma kalamda gambela politiko kono maybe lamin sem mako tan sey ni lulu independent candidate
o famo be
ha
wonen bu ko sot
absolutely so ni o jube akita kudi mialon ko boto ku kilim fana kete mian ko jama ya etandi man kontan NPP e tomundir nyaake nyame yela molu min tombom pour ye loye jama man kontan akola wala wo fango nying ni independent ko fana sembentu ya bake bari kudo fana be mialon ko wo zeldo kiwaro kana fabe wala nyama fate wonya way nga understand ko NPP ka ika independent candidate do londele mialon ko to leke dépense nga jele Mansour Sow miyalon ko andene benu NPP ani kuyata aluta faye but ate mo tumile Lamin Jaju independent become south ko NPP la fond pour ay se cartel tinya wo mafon min se chance yele bolong jabange become south bidum fabe wol nyam fate wo nyama boden is interesting talent kadu ngamira fanan député bungo fanan akumata le nga jube mo sifa nyaade nyanda kata député bonto wo mo kilinede fulan jam minti wolem ala advantage man wara bake mansa kunda ye semboy wara bake député bonto fo ni kol botana mansa bulana tan buka jube fam fo nafa benjelje fo nafa tanje bari abotana party le so ngabira sañ mimbe kala point de sañ be mun député bun sifa la sotol ngamba wo be kala kuti mi alon ko abi interesting na ban
bari West Coast lafte je ina je demande ni ajibe West Coast mume you know West Coast is the largest area banko beka NPP activity kilne sotoje yena KM ya jibe KM mume man fen sotoje yena Banjul ya bira kombo mara banko beka kabo Banjulu fo foni NPP deputy kilne sotoje as a party individual
yala
all you know
yala interesting ninga kumasi Brikama damma ni Brikama jube Brikama e ward Brikama South example ward flala bije Suba ward ani Marakisa ward okay Marakisa ward ate ever since akake APRC stronghold let wolem ni dasela nyol Marakisa nyol Bakar Samuel the list goes on wolka ke APRC la stronghold let UDP la stronghold always akake mindol di Suba ward wolong Brikama la kabila mo ni nano wole ka ke UDP la stronghold so banyaaj be nyina mu nekeda jana Brikama South ni fleda Marakisa ward the candidates mbraje out of the 6 candidates woro be bota Marakisa ward woro be bota Marakisa ward so bayla ko woldam ma ye vote sol tala nyo temale so wulatina a easy that so much for Lamin Jesane mi alon ko atemu UDP candidate leti andum Brikama Suba ward is strongly UDP wana Lamin ni min ka la mono always he was very confident ko abe gagner le kadum ajele mimbe keri mo ma fon ha atita wiele so miat na fang asidul fang kafuno atama because of the type of candidate fanang NPP min samanang for Brikama South mo jama mon kontana ko la you know atara fam fo jama ya contest because mune ke da wolo qualifications nga degree holder jele minu apply ta for NPP Brikama South ye drop for no reason ye nying samana dolko badia fasala kedaje because in the central committee there is a certain balajabang mi alon ko asembo wata je bake balajabang bolon jabang bidum fendantale malo boden mo jama ka je fran chudi
balandin jabang nyum balandin
no, no, yes, his official name is Malangding, but then nickname Bolong Lady, Bolong Jaba, Bolong the candidate. But there is this guy in the central committee, Minton Bala Jabang. So Mojama Fananka wole fenge ha Bala wole used up for Bolong Natanang J. So wokeda kudi mialonko I problem sambanang. But again, ina Brikama not fana. Ngalonne even in the presidential election. UDP winter Brikama North Alaji Esdabola area. Lamin J Sane failed. UDP ma win J presidential. You know, ma win J. But then Alaji Esdabo J mu stronghold for UDP. Because Jele Baile Kole Kabilo Sodo Daro Hairu Misira the list Fatou Nyul Kada. So exactly. So ate J mu stronghold leti. Inajibe Molbim Fana Nata to contest against him. NPP jefuna a problem soto because the first candidate ye ming someone was Fatou Bojang that halfway ko Fatou Bojang ne doku ke IEC so at a contest la no but ming interesting taje wolem ko the guy Lamin Bojang ye mean samana we understand ko wo failed in the primaries Omantambi so the guy who took second it was viral. He had an interview with the Standard. You know, I exposed what he went through. Because I tell him second in the primaries. So ne force someone drop automatically. But they brought someone. Mialonko. Juna. And again, we found 2 million keta. Ye chodi role ke because Minketa was can bring the vice president presently can bring Abalo movement. You know. That led Lamin Bojang where people they were so close to the vice president. Aboda Nyambaile, the vice president was basically Nyambaile, and they were very close. So Jamafana ya attribute ko vice president la influence Latina ye Lamin Sambana. So while like Baro Fankafo, you cannot own the people. You can own your party, but you cannot own the people. I think Wole NPP muta Brikama near extent fang by West Coast by margin near extent ngamro problem will be andum se karan no nyinto wolo ngalla moy mol fanana ngamra is very important ngalla moy mol but itan in central committee to is affecting so many parties here Fatou ika mol bije jama buga karang. Let's be realistic. Yeah. Jama buga karang. And they always ikanying fear sotole. Kamosa mana min karanta itelti.
Yeah.
You know why? Always ikalaf carry mind ko. Hey, ibe jan don lenye keja. So what that loyalty ika forcele ibe mosa mana mialam ka kweti la ko nyinda mate jam win lano. But yes samana ye support dila through their party. Yes CJ you always owe them that allegiance. Ko yente pigle from the streets yenke honorable. So I think ning wo politics ifa fana bondi na cool kono it will help a lot. But NPP I think this is a very good lesson. It's a very young party. Alngar always remember. It's a young party. Yes. They got their tactics wrong, and I think they'll go back and they prepare better.
Lolo am na solo parce que naroon nañu waxtaan ci wolof tamit waaw comme nu ki Aliou nu ko no waxee rek toogaay bi yàgg na depuis démb si guddi ñu ngi toog fii di faram fàcce affaire élection yi Gambie xam nañ ne léegi 53 constituencies lañ amoon te loolu lañ am juróom fukk ak ñett toogu moo nekk si suñu National Assembly waaye nag xam nañ ne NPP gagné nañu fukk ak juróom-ñeneenti toogu si suñu élection bi UDP nag ñoom am nañu fukk ak juróom bu ñu xaymee toogu fii independent mu nekk bu Sumbala xëy na mu nekk fukk ak juróom-benn. waaye nag boobu independent si wàllu independent la nekk. soo gisee sundu Banjul KM soo NPP amuñu fa benn toogu benn rek lañ am mooy Old Yundum te loolu nekk na loo xam ne daal jaxle nañu trop sax parce que Banjul yaakaaroon nañ la NPP nañ fa am ay toogu yu bëri waaye amuñ fa dara amuñ dara Bakaw Sani Mentereng UDP ñoo fa gagné Kombo South UDP ñoo fa gagné boo demee bu Sumbala comme ni ñu ko waxee independent moo fa gagné loolu nekk na loo xam ne daal waa NPP war nañoo toog nag ñu xalaat nag loolu naka la mën a amee waaye nag NPP comme Aliou nu ñu ko waxee parti boo xam ne daal yàggul ci Gambia parti bi daal moom def nañu ndam base loolu jar naa wax turu sundu CRR sundu sami sax waaw jaara tamit am nañ fa ay ay toogu te nekk na loo xam ne daal lu am solo la waaye lu gën a métti ci wàllu PDOIS mooy Sidia Jatta moom yàgg na ci assemblée bi ñaar fukki at si assemblée bi nag moom daanaka si taay moom gañewul daal mun nañ see wax tuuti ñu firi ko tuuti parce que Sidia moom fu mu taxaw may Fati moom parti leader JMC taxaw na fa Tida Kijera tamit UDP taxaw na fa soo xaymee ñoom ñaar seen carte lu ñu am so buñ ko boolee ak Sidia moo gën a ëpp NPP lu ñu am waaw
ci area yu bari la xew
waaw
independent yi ak yeneen yi dañ yaaxal yu bari ci yeneen parti yu mag yi
loolu foog naa ci kanam buñ ne ay at ci kanam ay bés yi kanam nañ am programme yoo xam ne nañ gën a waxtaan ci loolu parce que comme que Aliou nuñ ko fa waxee ay independent candidate lañ taxaw pour ñu yeexal feneen su ma naanoon suñu meew mi ma koppa suuf ci affaire yi waaw di sose ni maa soto meega foofu
absolutely
so loolu nekk na loo xam ne daal war nañ ko xayma daal ñu xam ne daal fu mu taxaw waxoon nañ ko fi njëlbeen affaire politique nekkul ne nga jógee ci kaw rek ñu nekk ci suuf nag yaa leen war a jox nga yeede leen nga jox leen defal li ñu def loolu ñu ne ganaari kenn neenul kenn si wàllu politique parce que comme Adama Barrow nu ko waxee rek kenn moomul kenn fii
waaw di nga moom sa parti
waaw di nga moom sa parti waaw foog naa dinañ dem daal ñu toog ñu waxtaan ak seen njëganaay affaire njëganaay lañ wax de waaye ñu ngi toog fii si xawma démb si guddi
balaa ñoo ñëw ci
waaw
li nga way foofu li jaaxal nit ñi comme li ma doon wax ci anglais ak kii di ko wax ci soose mooy boo xaymee élection député yi ñuy wéy suñuy démba da ngaa gis ne NPP ñeenti fukki siège lañ bore woon ñeent ñu am fukk ak juróom-ñeent loolu mel na jënd wàll bi sax dañ ko des daanaka ñoom dese nañ am seen siège yëpp jënd wàllam sax des nañ benn loolu soo ko seetee loolu du result boo xam ne dafa baax soo boolee sax ñi leen jàppale ñu mel ni NRP ak APRC loolu juróom-benn rek lañ gaa yi am diggante ñaari parti yu juróom-benn lay am soo ko tegee ci kaw NPP da nga am ñaar fukk ak juróom soo ko seetee parti boo xam ne moo yore nguur gi da ngaa gis ne ñoom dëgg-dëgg ñoom yi neen ñoom duñ kontaan ci result boobu.
waaye nag dafa am ay independent yoo xam
ne waaw dafa am dëgg la nag independent yi xam nga da nga leen compter boor independent nag lu ñu leen mën a xiime mooy ay opposition lañ parce que boo gisee taxawuñ NPP wala taxawuñ UDP ñu dem taxaw fale opposition daanaka opposition lañ leen mën a compter waaye nag li nga wax nag mën na am parce que dégg nañ ne am na independent yoo xam ne parti yi ñoo leen fa taxawal loolu laa doon wax ci anglais su fekkee ne nag am njëriñ na leen ci yenn place dama fonde sax lor na leen ci yeneen place so parce que ñaari boor la plan boobu ñaari boor la ñaari yëf la leen indi njëriñ na leen fii falee mu lor leen so dinañ seet su dee loolu seen plan su dee dëgg la sax waaye lu ñu mën a wax rek mooy lu ëpp ñaari fukk ak juróom-ñetti député toogu député ñooñu bokkuñu ci parti Barrow daanaka ñoo ñi ko contre waaw ñi ko contre ci député bi ci néegi député bi léegi moo ëpp moom ñi ko mën a farle su fekkee ne noonu la demee noonu léegi soo seetlu nag fu mu ñàkk nag mooy garaaw fu mu ñàkk
waaw
because capital bi Banjul ñàkk na fa dafa mel ni ku jógee Banjul di nga dox ba jaara Soma doo gis député NPP xanaa Yundum
waaw nga romba benn Yundum
Soma rek ngay soog a am député NPP soo jógee Banjul soo rombee Yundum doo am député NPP ba jaara Soma foofu yëpp opposition la su dee South Bank nga jël su dee South Bank nga jël benn rek mooy Yundum soo jógee Banjul Yundum rek nga mën a dal su dee waa NPP nga foo taxaw rek laa wane déedéet bokkuloo fi xanaa jaara Soma
waaw am nañu ay ndam
noonu la mel
North Bank
non waaye nag ma ne soo jaalee South Bank la soo jëlee North Bank rek waaw di nga mën a soo jaaree ferry bi rek di nga mën a dalu baara ak yu nu demee su dee yow MPP nga waaye nag gis nga seet ni nag UDP tam bul fàtte ne ñoom tam 48 seats la 47 lañ contest because am nga sabali dafa kër so ñoom tam 47 ñu am ci 15 soo seet la ñoom tam ñàkk nañ lu bari ñoom tam ñàkk nañ lu bari waaye nag li leen di kontaan loo mooy am na juróom benn fanaa ñoo xam ne ñoom dañu wax ne ñooñu dañ leen jam fa
maa ngi wax ne dinañ ñëw si boobu noonu
ok dinañ ñëw si
boobu waaw moom mooy nekk suñu
juróom-ñett yooyu mooy last kii waaw ok loolu yëpp soo ko seetlu dëgg la UDP daanu na parce que ñoom su fekkee ne seen sago am nañ seen sago moo dinañ doon win
waaye fuñ gañee
nag
moo am solo
waaw fuñ gañee nag moo am solo mooy combo yi fépp combo yi yëpp la ak KM soo gisee ñaari wala waaw ñetti région si la soo ko seetee région si gën a am importance la ci réew mi Banjul capital waaw yow boo nekkee nguur nga ñàkk capital région bi gën a rëy ci région si yow KM amuloo ci benn West Coast benn rek nga ci am KM amuloo fa soo seetlee loolu nag loolu du dëgg-dëgg loolu du neex waa NPP fo ñoom kañ fo ñu toog xalaat loolu naka la mën a amee waaw xam naa
élection bi man suma xalaat ku si gën a am ndam am kontante mooy Hamad Bah
waaw ñàkk na benn waaw non ñàkk na benn ok Hamad ñàkk na benn waaye nag soo ko seetee nag ci ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo ñëw far la kii nii Barrow xam nga bu njëkkoon bi mbir mi commencé nit ñi dañoo ne waa APRC bu ñëwee ci Barrow rek ñoom ñoo ko gañeloo ñoo ëppa doole waaye nag soo ko seetlu ci result ci élection bii nii Hamad Bah sax moo ëppale APRC fu mu ne nii
te nag mooy
Hamad Bah moo ëppale APRC
te defe naa Hamad Bah dina gën a am relevance fu mu ne nii
waaw am nañ dëgg la wàññeeku na benn waaye nag soo ko seetlu compare ak APRC moom moo bari la léegi njëriñ ci néegi député ci Barrow leneen li ma jëloon mooy li ma comme ni koy ci anglais bi mooy APRC bi nga xam ne Fabakary Tombong moo ko jiite xam nga bi presidential election bi weesoo amoon na wax faction bi nga xam ne moom la yaa Tamba jiite ñoom dañ wax ne ñoom ñoo gën a bari supporters APRC Fabakary Tombong ak gaayam ñu ndéedéet loolu amut waaye nag élection bi lu mu firndile mooy ñoom ñoo gën a bari supporter APRC parce que gis nañ ko fooñi ñoom ñoo jël yëpp Tamba boo ñoo jël yëpp
li si interesting mooy ñi jonganteel foofu noonu mooy groupe bi Fabakary
dañ leen daaneel bu
groupe bi Fabakary bi la because ñoom ñoo amee woon place ñetti juróomi place
waaw
ñii
ñëw jël yëpp lañ fa xas
everything
am na constituency yoo xam ne li ñu leen rawee sax dafa ëpp
waaw gis naa ay numbers
ay numbers yoo xam ne dañoo waaw dañ différence yi dafa rëy trop loolu nag indictment la ci faction yi Fabakary parce que ñi wane na léegi waa Fooñi ni ñuy xalaatee léegi mbir yu bari xew nañ fa xëy nga loolu yëpp tax na ñu sànni carte comme ni ñu ko sànnee nii.
Esa, your analysis. Are you sleeping?
I think I'll be very brief because I'm very
I can see that. You're already sleeping.
I'm sleepy. That's been a very...
I mean, today is good, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's different from...
I mean, compared to... we were there until, what, 4 before the results came?
Well,
so, so at least this time we are going to finish earlier.
But, congratulations, first and foremost, to all the candidates that have won in the different parts of the country. And of course, hard luck to those that have lost. This is the decision of the people, and you know the decision must be respected. But then getting into some areas, I want to start with Fonying by saying that the No Alliance, in fact, showed Gambian people that it is Babili Mansa who still has control in Foni.
Yes.
In 2017 parliamentary election, of course in 2016 presidential election, they won there. In 2017 parliamentary election, they won the 5 seats. 2022 parliamentary election, it is Jame influence still, all the 5 seats there. So it shows that Jame still have relevance as far as Foni politics is concerned. But then, like you all said, coming to the other areas, I think it is a very abysmal performance for the incumbent. Looking at Banjul, KM, and of course West Coast region, especially West Coast region, I still cannot fathom how these all happen, especially Combo South, how that happened. Looking at the difference in the presidential election. But then having only 1 seat in these areas, I think is a very bad performance for the incumbent. But you've said in terms of kan mo gina kontandal see election bini. For me, I think all the other parties that have won seats in this election, from UDP, No to Alliance, NRP, I think they're all happy. It's only the NPP that is not happy this, because this is a very big blow to the party. If I'm to be honest with you, I don't think even some UDP supporters, if you had engaged them, I don't think they were that confident. They were expecting, to have 15 seats or so. I don't think they were really expecting it. Because a lot of people were kind of disillusioned. Some give up and said, well, I'm not going to participate. It's a done deal. So they were able to pull 15 seats. And of course, Busumbala, we all know is tactical. He is UDP. So I think that is a good performance for the party, just coming from a shocking electoral defeat, which some of them are still finding it difficult to recover from. So having 15 seats in parliament, I think they're going to make life difficult for Barrow, knowing fully well that they're the main opposition to Barrow. Coming to the NRP, it's a drop by 1, but like I said, NRP I think has paraded itself as a party that wants to remain relevant in Gambian politics by being in parliament. Samba Diallo is there for the 3rd time again. If you look at GDC, it's sad. GDC is not going to be in parliament again for the next 5 years. We see what happens after that. But then the pool of independent candidates that we have this time around also making it to parliament. Well, we are speculating that some of them might be sponsored by some parties, especially the ruling party. To spoil votes. At the end of the day, we might see shift of allegiance to the incumbent. But also, it could be the case that some of these independents might instead shift allegiance to the opposition, especially if they know that the incumbent Barrow does not have control over parliament and is trying to be, especially independents that have principles that really wouldn't care about, knowing fully well that I don't want to talk about that, maybe that is official, that has to come from somewhere, but we are hearing that the salaries of National Assembly members will be increased. And if that is increased, it's not the chicken change that they are receiving. So it may not be money that will move them, even though nobody is satisfied with money.
The inducement also can be increased.
It can be increased. Exactly. I don't know whether this time we'll have white envelope MPs. No more brown envelope
MPs. It's no longer going to be envelope.
So I think also why I say UDP is very happy with this election. One, not only because they were not expecting this, but also the areas that they won. Especially those MPs that were just giving them tough time.
That rebelled against them.
That rebel against them. One of them sat here and said, I rejected the draft constitution, but even, call on people to campaign against the draft constitution. Lower Badibu, Kalinding, Latrikunda Sabiji. Latrikunda Sabiji, by the way, was really surprised. It's a big surprise to me. I never thought of it. Even Busumbala constituency, because this man coming Kante, it's independent. Just few days, coming as independent. It was Mohamed Sabali who was supposed to be there. I didn't mean it was Mohamed Sabali. We could say that it's not a surprise that Sekuba lost, but the level of confidence Sekuba had and the level of confidence this guy Sekou Marong had, for me it was unimaginable. Bundung, not a big surprise. Joshua as well, not a big surprise. And APRC won in those areas, especially Bundung. A lot of people commended the the guy who won, he was a
Suleiman.
councillor, Suleiman Jame. They said he's very hardworking, and I think also people look at that in parliamentary election. They look at the connection between the candidates, and that's why we said sometimes you have to know the caliber of candidate that you are presenting to the people. If it's not appreciated by the people, they can easily reject it.
Okay.
So I think Bundung is not a surprise that happened. But then overall, I think it was a good performance for the opposition. If you combine together, they have 28 seats, and of course the Grand Coalition has 25 seats, which is not a good performance. But this is also to tell Barrow, President Barrow, that he needs to be very careful, and he has to. He's got, just like Khalifa Saleh warned him a few days ago, that he has to be ready for the next 5 years. He will deal with people with knowledge and competence and skills. And this is a manifestation. I'm quite sure that there are some candidates, even though I said that we might have the worst parliament
I don't think so.
if we're not careful, but it seems like things have changed, because my expectation was that the NPP is going to sweep the polls. And looking at the caliber of candidates they have, to be fair to everyone, but the caliber of candidates that they presented are really horrible. But then having the opposition to win most of these seats, 28 seats out of 53, I think the caliber of candidates of some of these people. There's one person or two people that I would have really loved to be there. Yakumba and Sidian. I would have really loved these people to be there. But the people of Serekunda and the people of Willy West have decided otherwise. So, but then I still think that some of them that are going, especially Kante, they said he's very good, and others. I think we'll be able to have a vibrant parliament. We'll be able to have a parliament that will make sure that that function of oversight is performed, but also to ensure our democracy is consolidated for posterity.
Finally, Cham, we all have 2 minutes and then we wrap up. So I wanted to bring the 8 independent, UDP candidates that went to NPP. So, these independent, the NPP really wanted these people back in the parliament. Alaji Jawara, Omar Dabo, Baba Galle, Fatou Jawara, Sekou Barong, Sekou Bajaju, Sani Mentereng, Guy. They wanted these people back because these were the people who came out in the public when no one believed in Barrow. No one even believed he could even win the presidency. They stood by him. And he wanted them to win by all means. They had the resources they had. But why do you think 5 of them lost in all the major areas? Is it because the way people started calling them the brown envelope, the betrayers, the that? Everybody started labeling them that name, and did that really stick to them?
And the other brown envelope MP, Madi Sise, maintained his seat.
Yes, Madi, yes.
So if you have brown envelope and you switch, you lost.
I think they really were rejected. Maybe not necessarily, perhaps, by the fact that people perceive them to be betrayers or something. I think the UDP really invested a lot of energy in seeking some sort of a revenge against them.
Those people.
But then, of course, they had served 5 years, during which time their record has been exposed and known by the constituents, that is the electorates in their various constituencies.
Yeah.
And if you are going to supposedly genuinely assess them, their contribution in National Assembly, for example, even for the neutrals, you will agree with me that a lot of them have left much to be desired in terms of participation, for progressive contribution. By that I mean, a lot of them, all of them stood and dumped the constitution without any, only for partisan reasons. I mean, that angered people. In fact, there was a campaign I saw online that those who...
They were not the only people.
They weren't the only, but... Yeah, but they were... The people who were vocal in the campaign against it. They made no secret of their dislike for the constitution draft. They made that. They were at the forefront of the campaign against it. That can even, change the opinion of even the neutrals, those who are not even UDP. So I want to think that because of their 5 years of their record, not too impressive record in the assembly, might have also influenced people in their constituencies who might not necessarily be UDP. So they could have really suffered from their own records. even if you put the, of course, the fierce battle they have to, to do with the UDP.
Briefly,
Yes.
5 dibitelu.
Absolutely.
Mini along ko no UDP. Most 5 of them have been rejected. Ya mira mune WhatsApp.
Ajakalo warta, but then along ye doko kele sanji lulu doko ke. Killing mimman doko ke wala ko se jahal domande. Faba nol al fata nol. Bari nyindo ye chance dialale adunta je. Ay sanji lulu ke je anatana. Sai ete de fansu joy. Ya jiwe fonyi akata be example ta like with Fatmata Jawara. Ama mi anala kansulo bota big push and pull la. Ngajin sammananya. And the councilor said no. Yin mundela project or let. You know, so would that help in exposing Fatmata Jawara? And minara kefa most people le mvole ko yara fa nyimala do kolo. Deputy minga foko ngalambo samba bade kolo. Nga Marcelo Ale. That is the job for the council. So sanji lule bije yara fa demankara. And again, ila contributions. Recently, mulsada ka interest of parliamentary sittings to can deputy Jube ka perform nyameng in the assembly. We've seen Fatmata Tarajam viral up to a time akafo English monkey la mother tongue and things like that. Will be abala points all talakanne. The same with Sekuba. I'm saying this maybe I'm open back, but UDP energy minke Busumbala constituency malaya kedlato. You know, because they wanted Sekuba out. Sekuba first started Aikelo Kumasi and in Sabali. You know, Sabali halfway kante fintana. Kante gera mindimialonko. The whole of that constituency I respect. Yeah, respect. So anala campaign strategy kira minti door to door. Akanala isi aniye kacha. You know, and lately malong for Sekuba $5 sort of malong. But lately, more man kumasi ka content with ala attitude. You know, people start labeling saying he's pompous, waratale. In fact, I started even media appointments.
Yep.
I can feel, you know, at 4 o'clock he will call me, me traffic all kono. That was not Sekuba in 2017. So, gama be contributor miatna fanang illustrate sidla, and finally from Molman Lela Bank Kotenke Mal. They started with a party.
Yeah. Political bolo nyama akun kolo nyere beto kabane.
Nyere beto kabane. Ola mutiru.
Bolo nyama.
Okay.
So yalo jikola katraje. Di jikol nyimbuka mafa wato wat. Anu numuli eket lato me alon ku jigudlalo ibuka hormonu bunyata ndila and ye ifa wara coming near so get nyame. Am kulet me alon ku multi binela. Ikafaila. Ntol Gambia no dum fentem bulu bare na pride be mbulle jama di bota sol ni men ike nyate tanda dame ike bonje yeke dame ike bonje wolon quote
just finally from my side two things here, two demographic groups, youth and women, in this parliamentary election. I can't speak for youth because I do not probably know the age caveat, the age of most of these candidates. I know of one youth, certainly by age, that is Omar Sise, who lost. I don't know the others. I think in Talinding, we might have some that are within
Yeah,
he's very young too.
Should be more than when we look at age, to 35. So 35 years, I think most of them.
Boy is
maybe around that. So, but then if you look at women, it seems again 3 women are elected. 2017, 3 women were elected. It was Kadi Kamara, Fatmata Jawara, and Tumanjai. This time is Fatou Cham, Fatmata Njai again, Tuma, and Amir Koli. Fonyi elected 1 female last parliamentary.
They did again.
They did again. Banjul South maintained the same. Sane Mentereng is different. Anyway, but then I think that is still a bad performance when it comes to women representation. 19 of them out of 251 candidates that contested, 19 of them are female, and out of that 19, 3 are elected. I hope President Barrow will use this as an opportunity to appoint more, to nominate more female than male in Parliament. But kudos and very big congratulations to Fatou Cham of Sane Mentere. If you look at all, I'm not so whether you're paying attention, but if you look at all the 53 constituencies, she got the biggest margin. 6,000 votes difference to get an incumbent for that matter, a male for that matter. So that is a very big performance. I think she deserves a very big congratulations for showing to the world, showing to the Gambia in particular, that indeed women can do it. And I think, exactly, they can win big. So she has set a record in the history of the Gambia, being the first female National Assembly member for Sane Mentoring Constituency.
Well, they are used to, when it used to be Combo North.
Combo North, it's still Combo North, but Sane Mentoring. You understand? But now it's Sane Mentoring. So as I said, it's the first. It's historic. It's the first female parliamentarian for Sane Mentoring Constituency. And that will go down in history. But not only that, but also the margin that she won. I think if my mathematics is not good, but if I'm able to quickly do mathematics here, we will realize that she must get the highest.
It is no doubt.
Because I think Combo South also, KKB got...
was close.
No, it's just 2,000 difference.
No, I'm not talking about the difference. I'm talking about the total number. They both got 10,000, 10,000. But she must get the highest number across all the constituencies. The majority. So I think that is a very big performance. And a lot of people also said Fatou Cham is good. Let's see what is going to, how she's going to perform in Parliament.
We'll try to get her on the platform on Thursday.
Yeah, and I think, if you may, the work now begins for the IEC for reformation. And I think electoral reforms needs to be on top of the agenda in the next Parliament. And this has to be pushed by civil society, citizens ourselves. Because we elect people sometimes and leave them in Parliament to be at their own devices. And I don't know what the mechanisms are, but we should be able to at least probe and push our parliamentarians to do things on our behalf. You know, I think those are the things that citizens of the Gambia now needs to be working on to make sure that people are effectively represented. If bills are being pushed in Parliament, we're supposed to be interested in those. We're supposed to always go back to our MPs and say, this is what we want. Sometimes MPs will come and say, I've brought a school for you. I brought a market. I've brought this. That's not enough. That's not enough. Those are everyday things that you're supposed to do anyway. But things that bread and butter issues, when it comes to laws, and now the priority is let those reforms start now. And this is the time that we need to push all our MPs to put that on the agenda. If not, they'll forget about it.
And they are going to be sworn in on the 14th of April.
14th of April.
So they're getting to work
as soon as possible.
Almost immediately.
Yeah, and hopefully the diaspora vote will also be on the table.
Hopefully.
They have a lot of work.
Hopefully. Lamin, that brings us to the end of the program. We will look at the results in our subsequent programs, the brunch, and of course the road to Parliament. Kerr Fatou week comes on Thursday. We will try to bring some of the candidates here and just look at the numbers and also assess what happened that we are not able to cover here. Gentlemen, thank you so much for a long night. But like I said, at least this time we're going home a little earlier than the presidential. We want to thank you, Lamin. Thank you very much for coming and, gracing this.
I was fed until I was fed up.
I know, Lamin ate everything actually. Charm. Esa, as usual, thank you so much. Member Caring, our partners at Member Caring, Su Radio, we want to thank you. Abiding on Member Su Radio to an Imbrikama Bay and in West Coast Gambia Bay, Min Kela Su Radio la, Be Tentulam Bay Jaila for watching throughout the night. Lamin Cham will continue in the brunch and we'll also continue on our programs. To the technical team that went to the IEC, Ba Omar, Sire Drame, Lamin Fati and Landing, we want to thank you extremely well for a great coverage from IEC, and of course our technical team here, Charles and his team. We want to thank you all. Good night to you all. And our logistics team, Lucinda and the team, we want to say thank you. We were fed. And of course, earlier on, before this, we had Buba and his team, Jara from King FM and Fadera from Member Keri. We want to thank them as well. And of course, our production coordinator, Mustafa Cisse, who coordinated the entire production. We want to thank him for putting everything together. Until we come your way another time, good night to you all. Oh, good morning to you all. See you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Better and stronger as the sole ground operator at the Banjul International Airport. With an expansion in travel services, customers are assured of GIA's capacity to cater for all their travel needs, provided by professional, experienced, and ever-smiling staff. GIA's Hajj package and services, by far the best in the country, give the customers the opportunity for a memorable Hajj experience. For a more efficient cargo services, GIA means business as it launches its new multi-million-dollar ultra-modern cargo complex to revitalize and stimulate air transport. GIA, the pride of the Gambia.
Every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best and to see possibilities on the horizon. To make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets with a liberal air transportation policy. That daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.